I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman? Hello, my name is Brian, and this is Toy Ventures. And this week we're going to talk about the RedBox Batman, which is possibly the first Batman knockoff action figure ever made. So, before we can explain why is this, we have to go back in time to the before four, an age where there was no such thing as an action figure. At this time, boys' toys were primarily things like toy soldiers, guns, trucks, chemistry sets, building sets, guns, wind-up robots, and lots of role-play items. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, girls had Barbie, a new innovation in toys. Instead of a baby doll, Barbie was an adult woman, and you could buy her clothes and accessories separately. It is a formula called razors and razor blades. While Barbie herself was an incredible game changer, the real catalyst for the birth of the action figure was her boyfriend Ken, who was introduced in 1961. Toymaker and licensing legend Stan Weston noticed boys playing with Ken dolls on the down low one day, and he realized there is an untapped market for boys. Weston postulated that if you chose a manly enough subject, boys would gravitate to a doll, and his logical choice were soldiers. Playing army is just part of childhood, and in an age where patriotism was at an all-time high, and many of your parents were likely veterans, it was a safe bet. Weston found a buyer for the concept in Hasbro, although they didn't tell their president right away. Innovation is usually considered something of a higher risk. At Hasbro, it was executive Don Levine who tackled the most controversial subject, the dreaded D word. Levine dubbed the original soldier prototype, which was based on an artist's model, the action figure, and a new category was born. G.I. Joe stormed the toy shelves in 1963 and invaded homes via Santa Claus. He was a bona fide smash hit and likely made Stan Weston very sad he took the upfront payment rather than the back-end points. Now, with innovation comes imitation. If a toy company has a hit, others can and will copy it in hopes of getting some of that cool do-re-mi. The imitation comes in two forms. Creative ideas borrowing the format, which included marvelous toy lines like Johnny West from Marx, Captain Action from Ideal, also a Stan Weston creation, Mattel's Major Matt Mason, the Gilbert Spy series, and Johnny Hero from Roscoe Toys. These were all legitimate toy lines that merely copied the formula, but differentiated themselves from Hasbro's intellectual property. The other form is just straight up stealing.
At a G.I. Joe, you had
an army piece.
Right.
These came fast and furious with names like Johnny Canuck, Adventure Man, Tommy Gunn, Buddy Charlie, Mr. Action, Fighting Yank, Sarge, Commando, Combat Man, Action Hero, The Adventurer, Dynaman, and fashionable dresses. The list goes on for miles. I could talk all night. The various figures ranged in quality from the well-made to hot garbage, only meant to sell accessories and outfits for kids' G.I. Joe figures. A cheaper blade for your Hasbro razor, if you will. RedBox Toys, our subject today, was very much just copying Hasbro's every move. They released their own 12-inch soldier, who looked somewhat familiar. Do I know you? The initial sets included popular Joe themes such as Commando, Diver, Marine, and Sailor. Not only was the tooling likely copied from G.I. Joe, but the soldier himself was a cheaply made copy taken directly from Hasbro. How do we know this? Well, Hasbro had a tell. When the original sculptor accidentally put the nail on the wrong side of the thumb, Don Levine thought not to correct it, but to keep it in. It's an old trick that map makers used. Insert a non-existent street into your publication, and if you see that street in another folding map, you can sue the pants off them. The most famous case of Thumbgate was Mego Corporation's Fighting Yank doll. Mego did not own their own factories in Hong Kong yet, and they didn't know the factory was copying G.I. Joe, and, well, it cost them. After that lawsuit, RedBox did the smart thing and just took their name off the box. Yep. They would continue to pump out G.I. Joe wannabes for the 1960s and even knocked off Mego with some 8-inch versions of these characters in the 1970s, but that's for a future episode. RedBox decided to also branch out into stealing from other toy lines. Even though Astronaut was a popular G.I. Joe set, there is no mistaking this guy is supposed to look like Major Matt Mason. And then there's our subject today, which I firmly believe is not only an obvious copy of Batman, but of Ideal's Captain Action. The figure is a standard RedBox soldier, clad in a black Batman costume with a flowing cape and army boots. You really have to wonder if Tim Burton had one of these as a kid. The mask is truly one of the most unique creations I've ever seen. It is pieces of vinyl fused together to create the look of a helmet or a bucket of some sort. It's pretty silly in and of itself. I'm going to assume that this figure might have had a belt or some kind of accessory, but I don't think anyone has a loose complete one of these, nor, to my knowledge, has anyone ever seen a packaged version. It's killing me. Did they go so far as to call him the Bat? Or maybe he was known as Crime Fighter or Superhero. I hope one day a boxed one surfaces. I will not be in the running to buy it, but it would be really nice to see. Which begs the question, why is this so rare? Well, there's several factors. Just wanted to mention that I will be at PowerCon and Mego Meet this August 11th to 13th. We are bringing back Mego Meet. It's going to be a blast. We have our own dealers area. There's customs contests. We have freebies. And we're going to have a visit from the man himself, Marty Abrams, the president of Mego. It's going to be an exciting time, and I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of the folks that I've met online. 1. All RedBox toys are rare. These were disposable, unbranded items sold at discount and dime stores and largely forgotten as they were mainly purchased by kids for play, which brings me to my second point. 2. All RedBox toys are, how do I put this?
Fragile.
Yes. To put it mildly, this guy is crappily made. A light breeze would be the end of this figure. Fortunately, it's not drafty here in the studio, and I will be keeping him under glass. Number 3, unlike other RedBox toys, this one is just straight up copyright theft. Anyone can make a toy of a soldier or an astronaut and get away with it. I'm sure Hasbro did not like RedBox, but now you're stealing a major TV character. In the 1960s, Fox and DC Comics were riding a gravy train with biscuit wheels in terms of Batman merchandise sales. And they were pretty vigorously defending that train from bandits trying to cash in. It is quite likely that this figure got shut down and quick by lawyers. I started collecting knockoff figures in high school, and this hobby never fails to bring me new discoveries and lots of laughs, even today. I never in my life thought I would own one of these. I just thought, it's not going to happen, and I put it out of my mind. When I found one of these on eBay, I couldn't believe it. I had never seen one on eBay, and I sent an offer that I totally thought would get rejected, but I just had to throw my hat in the ring. Turns out I've known the seller for over 30 years. He was in Canada, too, and we made it work. It was meant to be, and I'm grateful to add him to my Batman knockoff collection. Batman didn't get quite as knocked off as much in the 60s and 70s as he did in the 90s, but it's still a lot of fun to collect these. And also just want to mention, if you like knockoff figures, I've written a book on the subject called Knockoffs, Totally Unauthorized Action Figures That You Might Enjoy. As well, we have a Facebook group called Mego Knock Off Headquarters, or Mego KOHQ for short, where we share weirdness like this figure. I hope you'll check them out. Just want to give a quick shout out to a few people who helped me with this video: Ed Decker, John T. Marshall, Kevin Fiore, Clem So, and Eddie Burst, who provided some information that really helped me out. This is an elusive company. This company was in Hong Kong, and they're a mystery. It's really nice when collectors just want to help you out. That's all the time I have for Toy Ventures this week. Thanks as always for watching. If you're new to this, please hit like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. If you're not new to this, well, thanks for watching to the end, and please consider sharing it with a friend. Until next time, my friends, be well and talk toys instead of other people. Cheers.